Hey everyone, Sarah here with Healthy Foods Heal, where we bring you tips on using diet and nutrition to live a healthier, longer life. In today's video, we cover a topic that has touched almost everyone's life in some way: cancer. Join us as we reveal 12 of the top cancer-causing foods that you should avoid. Cancer is a complex illness that develops when abnormal cells grow uncontrollably and infiltrate surrounding healthy tissues and organs. Due to the cessation of those tissues and organs' normal functions, this process may be fatal. There are many different types of cancers, as well as many potential causes. A variety of factors can contribute to the development of cancer. Genetic makeup and family history play a role, but external factors such as your personal habits may have a bigger impact. As many as 80 to 90% of tumors may be related to external factors. One of the most important factors to consider is your diet. Did you know that your risk of some cancers can be reduced simply by changing your diet? While no individual food, supplement, or special diet may completely prevent the disease, certain foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, seafood, and whole grains may reduce the risk of cancer. But some foods can also raise your risk of obesity and type 2 diabetes, which are linked to specific cancer types. Carcinogens, which are dangerous compounds that have the potential to cause cancer, are present in some foods. You may be able to lower your risk of getting cancer by consuming fewer foods that are believed to be harmful. So let's take a closer look at 12 foods that can increase your risk of developing cancer. As always, if you stay until the end, we'll have a bonus tip for you. First up, we have fried foods. Many of us adore fried foods flavor. However, eating these delicious meals can make you more susceptible to certain types of cancer. Acrylamide is a substance that forms when starchy foods are cooked at high temperatures. Particularly rich in acrylamide are fried starchy meals. Acrylamide has been found to be carcinogenic in some studies and is considered as probably carcinogenic to humans. Acrylamide may also damage DNA and induce cell death. Eating a lot of fried food also increased your risk for type 2 diabetes and obesity, both conditions which can promote oxidative stress and inflammation, further increasing your cancer risk. Second, we have sugar and refined carbs. Although they are not directly carcinogenic, sugary foods and refined carbs can indirectly increase your risk for cancer. Refined carbohydrates include foods such as white bread, rice or pasta, soft drinks, and fruit juices. High blood glucose and insulin levels in the body may increase inflammation, and along with it, the risk of cancer. Eating a high concentration of sugary, starchy foods may also put you at an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes and obesity. In women, type 2 diabetes may increase the risk for ovarian, breast, and uterine cancer. A high intake of sugar and refined carbohydrates may also lead to high blood glucose levels, which may be a risk factor for colorectal cancer. One study linked excess consumption of high glycemic index foods to an 88% greater risk for prostate cancer. To limit the health effects of refined carbohydrates, try to swap these foods with healthier alternatives, such as whole foods and grains, brown rice, and oats. While not technically a food, alcohol is next on our list. Beverages with alcohol, even in small amounts, may increase the risk of developing a wide range of cancers. Regular or heavy alcohol use may increase the likelihood of developing cancer of the mouth, pharynx, larynx, esophagus, liver, colon, and rectum. Alcohol is broken down by your liver into the carcinogenic substance acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde promotes oxidative stress and DNA damage. Additionally, it disrupts immune system function, which makes it harder for your body to attack malignant and precancerous cells. It may also prevent the absorption of folate, a vitamin necessary for DNA synthesis and repair. In women, alcohol consumption increases levels of estrogen in the body. This is linked with a higher risk for estrogen receptor-positive breast cancer. An individual's risk of alcohol-related cancer is also influenced by genetics. The enzymes needed to metabolize alcohol are encoded by genes. Acetaldehyde, a poisonous substance, is produced more quickly from alcohol when specific genes are present. The risk of esophageal cancer is increased in those who inherit this gene. Although tasty, processed meats also make the list at number 4. Americans are eating more meat than ever, estimated at over 200 pounds each year per person. Processed meats in particular carry an enhanced risk of causing cancer. Processed meat is a major risk factor for various types of cancer, including pancreatic, colorectal, stomach, even breast cancer. Processed meats include any meat that has been cured, smoked, salted, canned, or dried. This includes foods such as sausage, hot dogs, pepperoni, packaged lunch meat, beef jerky, ham, salami, and bacon. Eating just 50 grams of processed meat each day, that's around 3 strips of bacon or 1 hot dog, can increase the risk of colon cancer by as much as 18%. They contain preservatives known as nitrites, which are added to enhance flavor and deter bacteria growth. The methods used to make processed meats can create carcinogens. Curing meat with nitrite can form carcinogens. Smoking meat can also lead to carcinogenic polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. On a related note, next we have overcooked foods and charred meat. Foods that are overcooked might release carcinogens. Certain foods that are overcooked or burnt, mostly meats, form compounds known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PHs, or heterocyclic amines, HCAs. The reaction of creatinine, sugars, and amino acids at high temperatures produces these compounds. Juices that drip onto a heat source or an open flame produce smoke, releasing the PAHs, which then stick to the meat's surface. HCAs are formed when meats are cooked for extended periods of time or at temperatures of 300 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. These chemicals have the potential to change the DNA in your cells, raising your risk of breast, prostate, colorectal, and pancreatic cancers. Overcooking starchy foods, like potatoes, increases acrylamide formation. Acrylamides form when starchy foods cook until they are dark brown. Some studies link the consumption of these compounds to certain cancers. You're more likely to overcook foods when you cook with high temperatures or over an open flame. This includes cooking methods such as grilling, barbecuing, and pan frying. To reduce your risk of carcinogens from high heat cooking, try using healthier cooking methods such as baking, slow cooking, or pressure cooking. Number 6 on our list, dairy, is a little controversial. Milk and other dairy products like cheese are high in saturated fat and cholesterol. A high intake of dairy products may increase the possibility of prostate cancer. One study indicated those who consumed more than 2.5 servings of dairy products each day were more likely to develop prostate cancer. Eating dairy increases levels of insulin-like growth factor 1, which may increase the proliferation or production of prostate cancer cells. However, other research shows dairy may actually help prevent the development of breast and colorectal cancers. These protective benefits could be linked to the high amounts of calcium and vitamin D in dairy. Keeping vitamin D levels adequate is protective in terms of cancer prevention. High-salt foods, of course, make our list. There are several reasons to avoid foods that are high in salt. Excessive use of salt raises blood pressure and is linked to an increased risk of several cancers, such as pancreatic, throat, nose, and stomach cancer. The most vulnerable groups to health problems as a result of a salty diet are those with diabetes and those over 50. High salt intake also causes other health issues, such as cardiovascular disease and obesity, which is another risk factor for some cancers. Similarly, salt-cured and pickled foods are risky. Pickled foods are foods that have been preserved in vinegar or salt water. Some studies have noted a higher incidence of nasopharyngeal, the upper part of the throat behind the nose, cancer among those who regularly consume salt-cured foods. Research also indicates that eating pickled foods may increase the risk of stomach cancer. More than half of all new gastric cancer cases occur in Eastern Asia due to their consumption of pickled foods, which could increase the likelihood of gastric cancer. At number 9, we have another disputed item: hot beverages. Hot beverages and esophageal cancer have been linked in certain studies. This elevated risk may result from consuming hot tea or any other beverage at temperatures more than 140 degrees, which could thermally harm the cells lining the esophagus. However, results are inconclusive for this one, although studies have found a higher incidence of esophageal cancer in people who drank more hot tea. The study participants also drank alcohol every day or smoked. The presence of these other factors makes it hard to be certain that hot tea alone was responsible for the increased risk. If you are concerned about hot liquids and esophageal cancer risk, you could allow the coffee or tea to cool for a few seconds before drinking it. Canned foods are number 10 on the list. Canned foods can be convenient and affordable. However, some may also contain chemicals that can seep into the food, increasing the risk of certain cancers. One such chemical that has been linked to cancer risk is BPA. BPA is an industrial chemical that has been used since the 1950s to make certain polycarbonate plastics and epoxy resins. Polycarbonate plastics are often used in containers that store food and beverages, such as water bottles. Epoxy resins are used to coat the inside of metal products, such as food cans and water supply lines. Exposure to BPA is a concern because of the possible health effects on the brain and prostate. Additional research suggests a possible link between BPA and increased blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. BPA can mimic estrogen, which is a hormone that regulates many bodily functions, but influences the development of some cancers. BPA has been found to be carcinogenic in studies done on animals and is possibly carcinogenic to humans. Some studies have found possible links between BPA exposure and breast, prostate, and ovarian cancer. To reduce your exposure to BPA, skip the canned goods and choose fresh whole fruits and vegetables. Another item on the list that some may not want to hear is red meat. Red meat is a good source of protein, iron, zinc, and B12. However, it may also increase your cancer risk. Red meat is classified as a Group 2A carcinogen, which means that it probably causes cancer in humans. Red meat consumption has associated with increased risk of both colorectal cancer and pancreatic cancer. Some studies show that eating more than just 18 ounces of red meat per week can increase the chance of colorectal cancer. You should also avoid overcooking red meat, which produces chemicals that may increase your cancer risk. You can reduce your intake by incorporating meat-free days and generally cutting back on the amount of red meat consumed. Hydrogenated oils round out our list at number 12. In order to increase their solidity and stability at room temperature, hydrogenated oils are oils that have undergone chemical modification. Frequently, processed foods like margarine, baked products, snacks, and fried dishes contain hydrogenated oils. Trans fats, which are harmful fats that can raise bad LDL cholesterol and lower good HDL cholesterol, are present in hydrogenated oils. Trans fats can also make you more prone to insulin resistance, oxidative stress, and inflammation, any one of which may be linked to cancer development. An increased risk of endometrial, colon, breast, and prostate cancer has been linked to trans fats. In 2015, the Food and Drug Administration ruled that artificial trans fats were unsafe to eat and subsequently banned partially hydrogenated oils, which are the major source of artificial trans fats in the food supply. As promised, we have a bonus edition for you: artificial food dyes. Artificial food dyes are responsible for the bright colors of candy, sports drinks, and baked goods. They are also sometimes used for foods such as pickles, smoked salmon, and salad dressing. In the last 50 years, artificial food dye consumption has increased an incredible 500%. Modern food dyes are derived from petroleum. While hundreds of artificial food dyes have been developed, many of them have since been found to be toxic. There are only a handful of artificial dyes that are still used in food. Some food dyes are deemed safe in one country, but banned from human consumption in another, making it extremely confusing to assess their safety. There are currently 6 food dyes approved by both the United States Food and Drug Administration and the European Food Safety Authority. Red numbers 2 and 40, yellow numbers 5 and 6, and blue numbers 1 and 2. Research indicates some dyes contain carcinogens. As these dyes do not enhance the nutritional quality or safety of foods or medications, scientists continue to argue that they should not be added to food products. That concludes our list of 12 foods that can raise your risk of cancer, plus a little bonus at the end. Maybe you may consume some or all of these on a regular basis. While you don't have to eliminate these foods completely from your diet, you should be aware of their potential effects on your health and moderate your intake accordingly. You should also balance your diet with plenty of foods that fight cancer, such as certain fruits and vegetables, whole grains, fish, and olive oil. You should also quit smoking, limit your alcohol consumption, and exercise regularly. Exercise lowers the levels of hormones and inflammation that can stimulate cancer growth. Do you avoid the foods on our list, or do you have any suggestions on substitutes? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this information helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next informative video. Until next time, wishing you the best of health.